Oh, hello. It's Brian here, and this is the Eclipse Day, 2024 solar eclipse. So I thought I'd put together some songs that might be appropriate for a solar eclipse. Unfortunately, Toronto is not in the path of totality, so where I live, it won't be a total solar eclipse. It'll be partial, almost full. If I were to drive like an hour south, wait, which way south? South. It'd be better, but then I'd be surrounded by like something like a million people, which I don't love. And the other thing is the weather is not really going to participate with this or not cooperate. Between 10 and 12, we have like an 80% chance of rain. At 1, it drops down to 24, and then it's back up to 71% at 2. So it looks like it's going to be inclement with cloud and possibly rain. So that is sad. But in honor of the eclipse, I thought I would do kind of like a playlist of songs that we could listen to during an eclipse. And let's see what I found. So let's start with maybe the most famous song about an eclipse, possibly, is Eclipse from Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, the last track on the record, and of course that last line in the sun is eclipsed by the moon. From Close to the Edge by Yes, the track And You and I. Part 2 is Eclipse, which you probably know. Nothing surprising there. And then moving on to this band called Captain Beyond. There is a track called Mesmerization Eclipse. You might not be able to see it. It's hard. This could be hard to see, but it's there. Mesmerization Eclipse. Then I was thinking about, what you need to have an eclipse. First, you need the place to view it from. In our case, that's going to be Earth. So Duran Duran's Planet Earth, the second track on side A. As it happens, there is another track called Planet Earth from Devo on the Freedom of Choice record. The last track on side 2, Planet Earth. And then this one's got me thinking because, these are celestial bodies that are round or almost round, and the way they move and how they relate to one another leads us to things like eclipses. But if the Earth was flat, on Thomas Dolby's record here, The Flat Earth, there's a track called The Flat Earth. I did wonder if the Earth genuinely is flat, which I don't believe. What would that be like? Would we even have an eclipse? Do flat earthers think that all celestial bodies are flat or just the Earth? So it's something to think about. Not too seriously. The Flat Earth. And then David Sylvian, Gone to Earth. That's the last track on side A. And, we're already here. We don't have to go anywhere. Maybe one of my favorite songs about the Earth is from Tom Waits' Bone Machine, and the track Earth Died Screaming on side A, the lead-off track on side A. Kind of a scary track. And then one of the things you need for eclipse is a sun, something to be eclipsed. So here we have the Violent Femmes. Blister in the Sun starts off side A. We have this track from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers from Into the Great Wide Open, The Dark of the Sun. And the sun will appear dark today if you are in the right place on the planet. Here's something you should definitely never do during an eclipse, or really any other time. This is from TV on the Radio. This is Desperate Youth, Bloodthirsty Babes. And there's a track on here which you'll never be able to see because of this shrink wrap called Staring at the Sun. Don't stare at the sun, especially during an eclipse, because you may end up being blinded by the Light from Bruce Springsteen's Greetings from Raspberry Park. Of course, Blinded by the Light starts this album off. This is, I have to say, every time I think about this song, I think about the fact that I really hate the Manford Mann version. I know some people love it. I just have never liked it, probably because I heard this one first and I adore it. So, and this record from Max Webster, a Canadian band called A Million Vacations. The record's called A Million Vacations. There is a track on here called Sun Voices, which is immediately followed by Moon Voices on side A, because you also need a moon to have an eclipse, in our case, a solar eclipse. Here is my vote for one of the 2 best songs ever written about the moon, The Waterboys, This Is the Sea, and The Whole of the Moon on side A. That's a terrific track. If you haven't heard it, you should hear it. Here's a Canadian dude called Nash the Slash, who I've mentioned before. This is Dreams and Nightmares. He always performed in this surgical gauze, often with a hat on. Interesting fellow from a band called FM originally. On Cutthroat Records, there's a track on here called Moon Curse, which is pretty cool. And the other greatest song about the moon, I think in my opinion, is from Echo and the Bunnymen, The Killing Moon. And this has an epic 9-minute version plus the single version. That's a fantastic song. And then I guess for a bit of levity and fun, maybe after the event, we have Moondance from Van Morrison. Except this hasn't happened at night, though. This is a song about night, and the eclipse will be during the day. And then I was thinking about tracks that kind of put it all together, like had, apart from the first Eclipse tracks, had mention of the sun and the earth, or the sun and the moon, or the earth and the sun, whatever. And here I found The Moon and the Sun from OMD on their album Universal. The Moon and the Sun is on side A. And then this song occurred to me, this track. I should have mentioned, some of these are instrumental tracks. They're not all vocal tracks. But from Jeff Beck with the Jan Hammer Group live, we have Darkness/Earth in Search of a Sun, which is kind of cool. Then we have a track from one of the most legendary Canadian singers, Bruce Cockburn. This is his album called Oh Sun, Oh Moon. And there's a track here called Oh Sun by Day, Oh Moon by Night. This guy is like 78 now and still touring. That's not one of my favorite songs from him, but I think this album is pretty good. This was from 2023. Yeah, very good, very good. And one album and one track that kind of puts it all together. This is Love and Rockets. The album's called Earth, Sun, Moon, and of course there's a track on here called Earth, Sun, Moon. So that's pretty cool. All three of the things that you need to have a solar eclipse. You need to stand on the sun, stand on the sun. Stand on the earth looking at the sun with the moon in between you. All right, enough of solar eclipses. And thanks for watching.